Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the AWS Cloud community. I hope that you all are doing fine. How is your day going? Just type it down in the chat and please do let me know. We will be starting our event soon within 3 to 4 minutes, and till that, let's wait for more members to join in. And we will be having a great session today, and I'm really excited to see how you new guys are going to perform. So guys, let's begin the event today, and we have been through so many things since last 1 year. And if you all remember, it was this day only, that 14 March 2020, when the lockdown had begun. And till this date, we all are staying in at home. But one thing is good, and that is we have created an AWS platform where we can share our knowledge and everything. Here, we are empowering the willing students and shape a community where everyone is responsible, dedicated, and also ready to explore and experiment with new possibilities using AWS. We have great speakers today with us, and let me introduce the speakers of today. And the first one is Mr. Rajit Paul, and he is the core team head of our AWS LPU community. And he will be introducing you to many of things today. And we are really excited to watch out the things he's going to explain you all. We also have Pratyush Shukla with us. He is the core community head of our club, and you all new guys gonna meet them soon, and we are going to have a blast today. So yeah, it's 3/7, and let's begin this event. And it would be a short and crispy event. So I would like to invite Mr. Rajit Paul, and he will be enlightening you about the whole AWS Cloud Community Platform and how it works, how it functions, and everything. For the rest of the event, do try to, if you have any query, then please write it down in the chat section, and we will also have a question and answer session after 30 minutes or after the session ends. So let's begin.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much, Brahmajit, for that wonderful introduction. You are looking wonderful, and thank you so much for the introduction. So let me present my screen. So is my screen visible? Please confirm.
Yeah, it's visible.
Yeah, thank you so much for the confirmation. Yeah. So I hope you all are doing wonderful, and let us go forward to the demo without any further delay. So I'll show you something related to the EC2 web server kind of a setup today with RDS. So first of all, this is my profile. So people who don't have an AWS account, please go ahead and create one. It can be a management account, or it can be a educate account. So for educate also, you can go ahead and create an educate account. So the educate account would provide you $100 free of cost, and I'm also using my university ID, so that way I get. Yeah, thank you. So yeah, so you just go to AWS account and see, I have 100 credits remaining until January 7, 2022, and you can go ahead and start and user account. So this is an AWS educate account that we have. So you can go ahead and practice all your demos and everything here, right? So I have enrolled here with my university mail ID. So you can go ahead and do that. We'll provide you the link after the session, and also in the Telegram group. So along with this, there are few services that are not available here. So for that, you can go for the management account, or this account is also very free to set up. You can go ahead and just go for AWS account, and it will redirect you to as I have like already have an account, so it is showing me to sign into the console. So let me try from an incognito window. So one moment, yeah. So AWS account, let us see if they show us to create an account here. Yeah, so you'll get an option here for creating an AWS account. So you can go ahead, the steps are very simple. Just provide email address, password, and then you go ahead and click. You provide the necessary details of your debit card, credit card, whatever it is, to sync the payment, and then you can go ahead and create an account. So it is a very simple process. Also, the debit card, credit card that you provide, you'll not be charged unless and until you use something that is not free. Okay, so there are some services which are free. So for example, you can go to the AWS free tier section, and in this section you will see a list of services that are free. For example, Amazon EC2 free for 750 hours, Amazon S3 is free for 5 GB with some 20,000 get requests and 2,000 put requests. So these are all the limited quota for your free tier. So if you use something beyond this, so then you'll be charged for that. But also AWS hosts a number of events. You can go ahead and register for one of the events. So if I go ahead and type in AWS events, let us see what does pop up. So there is a link. You can go ahead, AWS events and webinar. So you can see that all of the events that are present are already here, and a few events that are coming up are mentioned here. So upcoming online events, if you click on it, you can check out all the events that are going to happen. So the main important thing about this is that you will get to learn a lot of things, a lot of new things that are not usually available online. You'll get to know this from this webinar. And also is that you'll get a lot of credits, like AWS credits, which you can then implement in your management account. And then if you're using something beyond the free tier quota, so excuse me, whatever the bill you generate, you can the AWS accounting team will detect it from the credits and not your debit or credit card. So it is a very useful. So I'll just share this link with you all. One moment. So this one, Garvit, can you please go ahead and share this link? It's just AWS events and webinar link for this link and the free tier link as well on the chat, please.
Okay, I
Thank
will
you.
share it. Thanks.
Thank you. So yeah, so now let us go ahead and log into the root user. This is a new captcha we have to fill because of any bots if they are trying to access this account. So we have to use that. So for today's demo, I'm going to use a root user, but a root user is not recommended to be used as because it has all the powers and all the credentials. And as I don't have much production deployed here and much not like much segregation, this is only my own account. If this is a community account, or this is a company account, then logging in from a root user, or even if you are doing it, it should be very under monitoring, and because it has all the powers. So we already have created a video and a blog on that. So Santosh, please go ahead and please forward the video and the blog link. Okay, thank you. So now we would look into one of the services related to the AWS database, which is known as RDS, which is Relational Database Service. So let me go ahead and open that. I would close this as of now. And this is the AWS Educate account, right? So now, for example, at first we see that there is a disclaimer of Amazon Aurora. So Aurora is a serverless database, which is own Amazon database, as a MySQL and Postgres SQL compatible enterprise class database, right? So this is authentic Amazon AWS database, right? So for example, what does serverless mean is a big topic, but let me give you an example. So for example, I am going to launch and EC2 instance. So we are going to launch this instance, and then we are going to create and launch or deploy some services onto it. So it is our responsibility to maintain the software. It is our responsibility to maintain the patches. It is our responsibility to update the system, right? What will AWS do in this case? AWS will only take care of the infrastructure. So this is IaaS, infrastructure as a service. So EC2 is infrastructure as a service. So AWS will just take care of the infrastructure, the hardware, and everything, the RAM, CPU, whatever they allocate. But inside the internal softwares, the updating of the software, the patches, we all have to take care of that, right? So this is infrastructure as a service. So now we come to serverless. So what is serverless? Serverless is completely managed service. AWS will manage everything. AWS will manage the hardware. AWS will manage the software and everything uh, that are being provided by AWS. It will be managed by AWS. You don't have to do anything. You just have to provide your requirement. And you just have to deploy your requirement. Everything else will be managed by AWS. Starting from the software, starting from the hardware, everything else will be managed by serverless. So why it is known as serverless? Serverless is known as serverless because there is no server visible. There is a server obviously in the backend, but there are no visible servers. So what does that mean? That means that it is abstract. What does abstract mean? Abstract means, for example, I am launching this EC2 instance. I can see the server, but for example, there is some hypervisor inside it. There is some other configuration, but I cannot go inside the hardware and see that because the hardware is deployed somewhere else. So that means that it is abstracted from me, right? So this is the main meaning of abstraction. So you can say that serverless is around complete abstraction. Okay, so Amazon Aurora is one of those serverless services. So let us go forward and let us create a database. So first of all, we'll go with the standard create, and for now we will be using MySQL. All right, and MySQL version. Let us go for the latest version. Let us see. There might be some errors of this compatibility of MySQL with WordPress. I have not checked the versions completely, but I feel it should work. So let us go with this version, right? So we'll go for free tier because in free tier, whatever instance will be launched, whatever server or services you use, you don't have to pay for that up till a certain limit, right? So we'll go for free tier. An instance identifier, you can just name something. As of now, we will call it as MySQL database. And the credential, the master username is admin, and the password, I need to provide the password. I'll provide a password, at least 8 printable ASCII characters. Okay, so there are some constraint as well. Okay, right, and in here also, I think this will do, right? So now there is something we need to choose the instance type. So under the free tier, we have got only the flexibility and uh, the freedom to choose the T2 micro. So we'll go ahead and choose T2 micro. Then we'll go for the storage. Allocated storage is 20 GB. Fine. Minimum is 20 GB. We'll go with that. No worries. Storage auto scaling, as of now, I don't require because I'll be deploying only a simple use case. For example, if you require some auto scaling, what does auto scaling means is that, so for example, my database is of 20 GB, but a lot of people have started coming into my database and they have started using it. So a lot of information and data would be stored onto my database. So that would require more scaling and more, more storage required for that. So in that scenario, you can go for storage auto scaling. What that will implement is that whenever my 20 GB is fulfilled, it will automatically scale it. What does scale mean? Scale means that I have 3 servers running, more client coming to my website. So there are requirement for more servers. So it will scale up. uh, Another scenario, my website is running, not many people are coming onto my website, but there are a lot of costs allocated to the servers. So I don't want to use 3 servers, I just want to use 1 server, so I scale down. So scaling is basically providing you that freedom and flexibility, also saving a lot of resources. So if you want to go for scaling, you can go for that, for storage auto scaling. As of now, we don't require, so we will uncheck it. Multi-AZ deployment, it is not possible here. If you go for some production, then you can deploy high availability. High availability means that, say for example, my instance, see, as soon as I selected production, this got popped up, multi-AZ deployment, right? There is a standby instance, means my the database is launched in one of the AZs, right? For example, what is the AZ? AZ is a availability zone. So AZ consists of multiple data center, and for example, I'm working on the region which is Mumbai. So inside Mumbai we have AZs, and inside AZs we have data center. So what I'm saying is multi-AZ. What does multi-AZ mean? Multi-AZ means that you deployed your database on multiple availability zones inside the same region. So if you go for AWS regions, so we already did a webinar on this. I'll just give you a brief, not going much deep dive into it. If you go, you can go ahead and check the YouTube link of the previous webinar. So please throw that on the chat, anyone, the webinar link. Please go ahead and do that. Garvit, please post on the chat of the previous webinar YouTube link. Thank you. So yeah, so if you go for the region availability zones, see in here you have for North America you have this many regions. For Asia Pacific you have this many regions. So what does region mean? Region is a geographical area, and inside that geographical area you have multiple AZs, which are availability zone. So why multiple? Because of fault tolerance. So everything is mentioned in the webinar in very much detail. So please go through that. So do we require multi-AZ? So what does fault tolerant means is that if one of my AZ goes down due to a natural calamity, right? For example, earthquake or tsunami, one of my AZs goes down. So if I create a multi-AZ deployment, my database will not be affected because I have my database deployed on multiple availability zones. So for the fault tolerance, for maintaining the availability, so whenever I want to access, I can access. So that is why we need to go for high availability production setup. But as of now, as we are using free tier, we will not have any option in this. So you directly go to the VPC. VPC is virtual private cloud, which is a logical region or logical space provided to you for your region by AWS. We'll choose a subnet. A default VPC subnet group is this one. Public access, no, we don't want to provide our instance public access because database is a sensitive matter. For example, Google is working, Facebook is working, Amazon is working. Their database is very critical because it contains all the payment information, all your necessary personal information. So we cannot make this public, right? So database will always be uh, private unless stated otherwise. For any particular use case may be required, but as of now we'll keep it private. Security groups, we will go for a security group launch wizard 1. You can go ahead and choose other security groups. I have chosen this security group as I have provided the necessary traffic allowance. So the traffic that I have allowed is for the port number where my MySQL is running. So that will be, I think it's 3306, the port number used. So yeah, so for that you have to provide the necessary security group allocated so that your web server or your EC2 instance can connect to this database, right? Availability zone, we can go ahead and choose it at 1A. And password authentication, we will choose it as password authentication. Additional configuration, initial database name does not create a database. So we can go ahead and create one database. Say for example, we name it WordPress, as you are going to integrate it with WordPress. And parameter group, let us keep it like this. Automatic backups, we don't want backups because according to our use case, no backups are required. Okay, so if you want to go ahead and log, for example, there is some retrieval action happening on the database, so there is some error log generated, some general log generated. So if you want to go ahead and view the log later, you can go ahead and do that, right? For example, we are not enabling any log. Then again, we go for the maintenance, we leave it as default. Maintenance will also leave it as default. So this is the monthly cost. So if you want to go ahead and access the AWS free tier and see that whatever the hours are provided, so it is 750 hours of Amazon RDS on a single AZ with T2 micro instance. Okay, you can also go ahead and check the pricing range. So let us create the database. So excuse me. So yeah. So once this database, this will take some time to launch. Meanwhile, we'll go ahead and launch one EC2 instance. So we will be choosing this AMI. Also, there is a detailed video, YouTube video. Please, Santosh, float this on the Google Meet chat so that you can go ahead later and watch it. So we'll be choosing the AMI. I'll be going a little fast because we might be short of time on this one. The instance type would be T2 micro. The instance details, we will choose 1A, and rest we will keep it as default. Storage we will use normal GP2, and 8 GB is good enough for now. A name tag would be web OS. So all of these steps I'm not going through them because we have already did a video, YouTube video on this with complete description of this, so please go through that. Security group, will go ahead and select the SD security group. All traffic is allowed, but this is just for this demo purpose. And this security group is also mentioned in details in the video, so I am not configuring it as of now. So I'll launch this. You need to attach one key. We'll attach one key and we'll launch this instance. So let us see that if it's launched. Okay, it will take some time to launch the database. So what we'll do is, within that meantime, this is running. So I need to configure the web server or install WordPress. So we will go ahead and do that. So there are various ways to connect to the instance. For Amazon AMI Linux, we can connect using the web browser. We can also use the SSH client. So as of now, I am going to connect with my web browser because this is suitable and easy. So we will go ahead and okay, let me connect with my SSH client, because this is not visible to you because the screen font not properly can manage that, right? So I'll go ahead and log in through the SSH client. So right, so you just need to go ahead and paste this, and once you do, you just need to exchange the handshake or the SSH key handshake, and then you log into the EC2 instance. So let me increase the font a little bit. I think it is visible now. So yeah, so now once you have done this, who am I? So I am the root user. So I'll install some of the packages. So as I'm using Amazon AMI, it uses the Yum package manager. So I'll go ahead and install Yum install MySQL. So first of all, we'll install the MySQL database. Are done, and then we'll go ahead and install PHP WordPress. So for that, we have a package of Amazon Linux extras. So this is a repository where they have extra packages such as PHP, right? So we'll go ahead and install PHP 7.2. So it'll be installed. So yeah, 31 MB is the size. So once it is installed, we can go ahead and install HTTPD. HTTPD is the Apache web server. It's also done. Then we go ahead and we install WordPress. So wget is a command to install something from the web in Linux. So we use this command and we go and fetch the latest WordPress package that is available. So let it install. Meanwhile, let us check if the instance is launched. I think, yeah, it's available now. So great. So now let us extract this. So let us create a directory, AWS CCLPU community directory, right? So now we will shift this package data star to this directory. We will go inside this directory and we will extract it. So tar is the command to extract it in Linux, and we would go ahead and do that. right? Once it is extracted, then we can see that WordPress is already extracted and WordPress is present, right? So now what we need to do is, let us check what is the content. Yeah, so everything is present, whatever we require for this demo, right? So now we will go ahead to the configuration, and we will allow for the HTTP configuration to uh, allow override all, means that to provide all the permissions uh, to the HTTP so that all can connect, right? So we'll go ahead and do that. So we need to change it to all, right? So once it is done, the we have provided the necessary permission to the we have provided the necessary permission to the HTTPD conf file, and once that is done, we will then shift to the uh, WordPress launch, right? So let us go ahead and do that. So for example, now let us see what is the outcome. So let us start the service. So once that is started, we will go ahead and connect to this. Let us see what is the outcome. Yeah, there is the Apache web server here. So what we need to do is we need to go ahead and whatever we have here, we need to provide it on the HTML. So where www HTML is the directory where we have, it is the document directory. What does the document directory means? The document directory means is that everything for this web server, which is the Apache web server, we need to provide it here. Only then and then it will be reflected on the web server. So let us go ahead and do that. Once that is provided, we will restart the service. So once the services are restarted, we can go ahead and see the WordPress launched. So it is taking some time because it might have some internal configuration to do. So meanwhile, let us start working with the database. Okay, so yeah, so now for example, the first thing that we need to do is we need to go ahead and copy this endpoint. So this endpoint will lead us to the database. So as we can see, we have already restarted. So if we go ahead and provide WordPress, so we will see that we can now install and can now connect the WordPress. But now what we need to see is that we need to connect to the database as well. So for the command for the same is MySQL, and I provide the host name. I think it's H for that, and then we provide the host name, and then we provide the username. The username we need to provide -p for password, right? So I'll provide the password here, and we connect to the MySQL. So this is the command MySQL. We connect to the host name, and the host is this one. Then we provide the username, which is this one, and then we provide the option for password. Actually, password is not accepted here because of security reasons. So the password you need to enter here. So once this is done, so we can go ahead and create. First of all, let us see that if there are any databases present. So we can go for the command show databases. Yeah, there is a database called WordPress. So use WordPress. Let us see that is there anything inside the database or not, right? So show tables. So as you can see, there are no tables as of now, right? So now let us go ahead and configure this. So first, the database name would be WordPress, as we have mentioned. It would be admin, and this would be the database password, and the database host will be replaced by this one. So we will provide that the database host, and the table prefix can be this one. So we submit it, and then we have to create a config.php file, and we have to uh, paste this one, right? So we go to the instance back, and we exit from here, and inside uh, we need to provide this file, right? So let us do it. Yeah, I think there is a config file here. So config.php, let us create it, no worries. Yeah, let us we will paste it manually here. Once this is done, then we can go ahead and run the installation. So yeah, so as you can see, it is done. The installation procedure is in progress, so we need to provide a site title. So we will name it LPU, AWS Cloud Community LPU, and this is one of a learning session with the community. So we will provide it a title. So this is the title. We'll provide a username. So for example, we'll use username as AWSCCLPU. The password, we can keep it as that. And for, I'll choose one of my email IDs. So then we'll go ahead and install the WordPress. So once this is done, you do the whole configuration process securely, and you do the whole configuration process properly. The WordPress would be installed, and then you can go ahead and log in. So I already have it saved. So I would log into this blogging web app by WordPress, and here I can create a blog. So this blog, so from now, this can be anything. As of now, we are doing it as a community learning session, so we will name it as this. So then we would write something. So this was one of the message that it is glad for us as community members to join with other community members, and one big family that we all have in WhatsApp, Telegram, and in our university, to join all and have a session together. So this is a learning session. We are all here to learn. So to have this session together uh, is what excites all of us, right? So we will go ahead and publish this, and once we publish this, we will get a link. So I'll post this link on the chat as well, so you all can go ahead and access this, and you will see that this blog is up and running. So we can also access it here. You will see that this blog is up and running, published by AWSCCLPU. So you can leave your comment and stuff like that. And now the most important thing is that uh, not only we have launched the web app, but what we did is we also have a database connected to it. So let me connect to the database once again. Right, so let us go inside WordPress. Let us see that what is the configuration. So as you can see that all of this is saved. So what does that mean? That means is that even if my web app goes down, even if my website crashes, it doesn't matter, because my data is saved. So I can log in a new PHP WordPress website, and as we did the connectivity with this database, we can provide the same database, and we can provide the same instance and the same host name for the WordPress website to connect with, so that my data is safe and my data is secure and my data is present. To make it more redundant while launching the web app, we also saw that we can do it multi-easy, so we can also do that. So accordingly, you can configure your requirement, but the most important part is all of the information that you have on your web app or on the blog or whatever you have written is saved here. So whenever you launched a new WordPress website, or you launched a new WordPress instance, or install the package and set up the web server, you can connect it with the database and you'll have the same data. So this data is safe and secure for you all. All right, so this is the demo for today, guys. Please go ahead and connect to this link. And if you have any more questions as of now, we will address them right now. So please ask.
I guess they are all satisfied and they all know now that what the community wants from them and everything is cool with them. And thank you,
Definitely.
Rajat sir,
Thank you
for
so much, Brahmajit.
for
Thank you all
such a great
for this.
enlightenment and everything. And I would like to call
Thank you so
Anjali
much.
for thanking, giving the thanks compliment.
Well, I was going to ask people to put some Q&As if they have any, but I don't think they have any questions to ask. So we should actually just proceed with the closing session. So Santosh, please take over.
Yeah, thank you, Anjali. Okay, first of all, I want to thank all of you for joining the session during this peak time. And thanks to Rajit Paul for continuously giving such valuable sessions on AWS. So I hope you people are now familiar with the vision of our community and our principles and how we organize sessions on various topics of AWS. We need to cooperate with each other. The presence and contribution of each and every member is very important for the growth of our community. Never underestimate your work, and don't hesitate to ask a doubt or share the things which you know. Try to be more and more interactive in the community groups, whether it is on the Telegram or Slack. Okay, then for some of the guys who don't have AWS Educate account, where we can get some credits to explore the AWS services, so you guys can join with the link which we have shared in the chat. So you can just go through the chat and you'll get the link. And and please don't ever attach yourself to a person or a place, company or an organization or a project. Attach yourself to a mission, a calling purpose. Sorry, a calling or a purpose only. That's how you keep your power and your peace. And also, guys, please go ahead and follow us on all the social media channels, and the Linktree account is provided in the chat. If you have any query, please feel free to email or DM us on our official channels. With that, we come to the close of today's event. Thank you.